John, a lot of people haven't done an asbestos inspection before. What can they expect?
Typically, a professional would come out and assess the building, starting in the kitchen and then working their way around the house, ensuring they're checking all the building materials to see if there is any suspect material in there. If they suspect that there is asbestos within a building material, they'll take a sample carefully and then send that to a lab for analysis.
So it gets sent to the lab. How long does that typically take?
So turnaround is typically around 1 to 2 days. It can be expedited if you need to get that report turned around quicker.
Now, I know a lot of people will be really curious. Cost to get an asbestos inspection, what are people roughly looking at?
Typically, you'll be looking at around about $600 to $1,500 for a typical house.
Yep.
Now, if that's a larger house or in a different location, that may change.
Collecting a sample is a simple process that's safe. What I'll do is I'll find a discreet, accessible location to take the sample. We use an appropriate tool to take a sample to the full depth of the material, and then we place it in a uniquely labelled bag, and if needed we'll decontaminate the immediately surrounding area and seal the actual material that we've sampled with some tape or an adhesive or some sort of sealant.
So where can people typically find it internally?
So internally you'd be looking at bathrooms, kitchen, laundries, wet areas, typically the walls and ceilings. You need to be aware that it was in floor coverings as well.
Floor coverings being what? Carpet, vinyl floor tiles, old lino?
So it could be in the vinyl tile itself, it could be in the glue, it could also be in the paper backing of that vinyl sheeting that you might uncover in the kitchen or the laundry.
And what about carpet?
So carpet, it may be within the underlay. It's not very common, but we need to be aware that it might be in there, typically because they use the old Hessian bags as underlay within houses. You can also find it as spray insulation in roof cavities, as well as underfloor in packers.
And for an old property like this, where can they find it externally?
So externally, you typically find it as a wall cladding, as well as in the eaves. Flue pipes associated with hot water systems would typically contain asbestos as well. What people would do is, to save costs, they wouldn't remove the old asbestos cement cladding and they'd clad straight on top of that. And that's something you need to be aware of, because it looks like an amazing clad property that won't be of concern. However, you look underneath and you'll find it.
You can also find it in strange places like concrete paths. They used to do it as filler as well. So I guess the message there is that whilst you might not think your property has asbestos, it can be lurking in the most unusual places.